If you're growing a business and trying to make YouTube work at the same time, here's what I can tell you from experience. There comes a point where you just don't have time to do it yourself anymore. And it's not because you can't handle it. I know you're super capable CEO. You're probably doing all the things right now, client work, doing your own marketing, trying to spend time with your family and friends. But let's be honest, it's taking a toll on you physically, mentally, and most likely on the quality of your work. And this is a good thing because this means that you're scaling. So in this video, I'm going to be pulling back the curtain on what a strategic YouTube agency really does, how to know if your business is actually ready for one based off of where you're at in your business right now, and how to avoid hiring a content pusher instead of a true partner. And make sure you stick around until the very end because I'm going to be revealing the biggest myth when it comes to hiring an agency and what you really should be looking out for before you hire anybody. So why should you listen to me? My name is Melissa Mitchell, and I run Wandermint Creative, a YouTube agency that helps coaches, consultants, and service providers pull out their authority and turn YouTube into a consistent sales engine. We work with clients who are usually already seeing success, but they're hitting a scaling ceiling. Maybe they're sitting on half-baked video scripts, a Google Drive full of half-edited videos, or maybe they have a VA uploading all of their content with no real strategy. The ideas are there, they have the authority, but the execution is slipping through the cracks. Our agency is built specifically for that kind of client. People who know their expertise and their authority deserve a bigger platform, but they just don't have the time every week to manage a team, figure out SEO, or try to understand the YouTube algorithm on their weekends. And unlike most agencies, we're not here just to help you get views or subscribers. We're really here to help you get clients. Now, let's talk a little bit about the 3 different ways that you could have help for your YouTube channel within your business. There's doing it yourself, there's hiring a team internally, or there's hiring an agency. So let's go through them together and figure out which one might be best for you. So the first option is to do it yourself. And this is where a lot of people start, right? They want to figure out how to use YouTube themselves, but then when they get to a certain level of scale, it becomes harder to do that, right? We already talked about this. So when you're doing it yourself, you're researching, you're filming, you're editing, you're uploading, you're promoting, all while still trying to serve your clients, build new offers, and scale and run every other department inside of your business. Which means, let's be honest here, that even if these tasks are getting done, they're getting done to about 50% of the level of standard that we wish they could. Maybe you've invested in courses. Maybe you've tried batching your content. Maybe you've even followed a lot of the YouTube experts out there to try to figure out how to do this yourself. But you just don't have time for that anymore, right? You need to spend your time scaling and pouring into your clients. You have tons of ideas, right? Your Google Drive and your camera folder are full. But unfortunately, none of that content has been edited or uploaded. And you keep ending your day thinking to yourself, shoot, I didn't post enough today, or shoot, I didn't post anything at all today. This is completely normal. If you're sitting there watching this and thinking, this is me, this is normal. And it's where we see most of our clients before they hire us. This is usually the stage where you feel stretched too thin to execute at the level that you're wanting to execute at. And because of that, YouTube either becomes a guilt project where you're constantly feeling torn and guilty between creating content on YouTube and then following through on all the other departments that need your attention, or it becomes something that gets pushed to the back burner. Maybe you started a YouTube channel a while ago and now it's just sitting there collecting dust because all of your other priorities took over. Again, this is a good thing. This means you're scaling. You just have a capacity problem. When we're trying to scale our business without sacrificing our sanity or our personal lives, something has to budge, right? Even though we think that we can do it all, I have been right there with you. I am the problem as well here, especially as women. Sometimes we think that we can be super women and we can do everything, but in reality, we just can't. And things start to slip through the cracks. In fact, by trying to do it all and by figuring out halfway through all these different tasks, we're actually causing our business to not scale. It's slowing us down. It's doing the opposite of what we want it to do. So that's option number one, doing it yourself. And maybe that's where you are right now, and that's completely fine. But let's move on to option number two, which is building a team internally to take over these tasks. So this is an option that a lot of people, when I'm talking to them, they think that this is what they want to do. They think, I'm going to hire an internal team of employees, and those people are going to execute the filming, the editing, the script writing, the SEO, the publishing, the strategy, all of it, okay? And this could be a very good option depending, again, on the level of scale your business is at. But I want to go through a couple cons to this type of help. So the problem with this kind of execution is that now you become a manager of people. You're managing the process, you're coordinating all of the different people, you're doing quality control, all while trying to still scale and do the tasks in the rest of your areas of business that need your attention as the CEO. So now, instead of having to execute all the tasks, that might be taken off your plate. You've just become the large agency that needs to review everything, which can be just as much work and a lot harder to hand off and train people than you might think. Some of our clients have come to us after trying this approach, and they feel completely burnt out, which is completely normal. Again, it just means that you're scaling and you need a different type of support. Right? You don't want to be the coordinator of all these people. You need someone to come into your business and take that completely off of your plate. So that brings me to the third option, which is to hire an agency. But this only really works in your business if you hire an agency that understands your season of business, okay? A real agency should bring structure, strategy, and support. They should allow you, as the CEO, to step fully into your level of expertise and authority, and then have them complete the execution. But not all agencies, unfortunately, are created equal. Lots of agencies out there tend to be just content pushers. And what I mean by that is they have the same rinse and repeat cookie cutter framework that they throw all of their clients through. It's not customized to you or your current level of scale in your business or your level of authority. And that's where the misalignment happens. Here at Wandermint Creative, our job isn't just to make your videos look good or go viral, but we're here to make sure they actually work for you. And by that, I mean actually bring people into the backend ecosystem of your business. Have them faceplant into your offers, into your email list, into your other social media platforms. And this really starts by understanding what season of business you're in. Are you building your brand authority from the ground up? Are you scaling a signature offer? Are you refining your content engine for long-term sustainability? Each of these require a different bandwidth, a different strategy, and a different support system. Our job is to work with you as a co-partner to make sure that your YouTube strategy fits in with whichever season you're in business. Now, if you're in scale mode, which if you're watching this video, you probably are if you're looking to get help with your YouTube, there are 3 different levels of scale that we actually optimize for inside of our agency. So you could be an idol, an architect, or a trailblazer. So to learn which scale archetype you are, you can take my quiz by clicking the link below this video. So once we understand what season of business you're in and what scale archetype you are, what we do from there inside of our agency is then we take you through our signature process. Now, here's one thing to look out for when you're looking for help or hiring an agency is that if they do not have a signature process that they can outline for you when you're on a sales call or when you're looking at their marketing information online, this is a huge red flag. In fact, if you don't see a signature process from them at all, please just run, okay? Please just run. In the year 2026, this is a non-negotiable. But we're going to go more into the questions you need to ask yourself before hiring in the next video after this one. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on that. And if you're watching after that video has already been uploaded, you can find it in the YouTube cards above here for you. Now, the first phase in our process that we tackle with you is strategic planning or your YouTube roadmap. In this phase, we spend 5 or sometimes more hours, depending on your niche, figuring out and researching what's specifically working for you and your niche on YouTube. This means what curiosity-driven titles are getting the most clicks and views? Where are the opportunities lying right now for conversion? And what are your competitors doing and how can you actually beat them out on some of the topics? From there, we actually build out a custom content calendar that mixes sales psychology with searchability because both are very important in your YouTube strategy. We never want to just throw up random content ideas because you think that it would be a good idea. We always want our topics and video titles to be coming from backed data. So every topic we choose is actually based on where your customers are in their customer journey. Are they problem aware? Are they not problem aware? And we create certain series and playlists that allow them to ascend that customer journey even faster and allow for bingeability so that at the end, they're face planted right into your specific offer that makes you a no-brainer. We make sure that every single video acts like a little sales engine or a little sales funnel. It's not just collecting views, it's not just bringing in subscribers, but it's really acting as a sales funnel where someone watches your video, learns more about you and your topic and your authority, understands that you have something to offer where they can continue to learn more from you, and then faceplant again into the back-end ecosystem of your business, whether that's to book a call with you, join your email list, download something, or buy a product straight off of YouTube. And then finally, in this phase, we make sure that your strategy on YouTube fits holistically with the rest of your marketing. Because when you silo any platform, it doesn't work to the best of its ability. Here at Wandermint Creative, we firmly believe that having a good YouTube strategy also means incorporating the rest of your marketing, because if your YouTube strategy is working, it can also build your email list, your other social media platforms. And if you're running ads, it can lower your ad spend there as well. Overall, in phase one, while creating your strategy, our goal is to really bring in aligned buyers into your ecosystem. And this is so important, especially in the age of AI, where the trust gap is so large and people don't just buy like they used to. They're really doing their due diligence and trying to figure out if you as a brand are trustworthy, if they're going to learn from you, if you're someone they want to learn from, if you have a different process. They're looking for all of these different things, and your YouTube channel is the best way to speed up that process and differentiate you from every other expert in your niche. Next, once the strategy phase is completed, we move on to phase two, which is your video ecosystem. This is the rinse and repeat process that we put every video through to make sure we take it from that initial idea and title all the way to published on YouTube. And it first starts with our scripting and story framework. So in this process, if you want full scripts, like you want to be able to put it on a teleprompter and you want to read word for word, we got you. We can 100% do that. If you prefer more outlines and bullet points, we can do that as well. This is usually a personal preference of what people prefer. Some people really like to just have the main point and then riff off of that, while other people really like to have it completely written out for them so they don't lose their place. From there, we really build your video like a sales asset. Using our 6-part scripts that sell framework, we make sure we have a good hook, a good intro, and then we lead people to that, oh my gosh, I need that moment inside of your video to make them want to continue to do the next step with you. Scripts and outlines are so important because if you're just rambling on, it's really easy to get sidetracked and for your viewer to completely lose the point of what your video is about in the first place. And if that happens, I guarantee you that they just will not convert into a sale. But there is a sweet spot between outlining and scripting versus sounding robotic, right? We still want to have our personality in there. We still want to be able to have our authority come through, our expertise come through. But we also want to make sure we're staying on track and using sales psychology throughout the whole video to make sure that we're really driving home our point. And of course, again, bringing people back to the call to action in the video or the sale. And at this point, you might be thinking to yourself, okay, Melissa, but we have AI now, right? We have ChatGPT. Can't I just throw everything into ChatGPT and script out my videos that way? No, that's what I want to say is no. While yes, AI like ChatGPT can be a great help in speeding up this process, I do not recommend relying on it completely to write out your scripts or write out any of your content for that matter. When you rely on AI, it's really watering down your authority, and this is the fastest way to make sure that you sound like every single other person on YouTube. I can promise you that. Here at Wandermint Creative, we are all about making sure you're creating an authority-led YouTube channel. And while yes, we use AI to help us speed up this process that we're walking through in this video today, we do not use AI to completely script your videos. We want to make sure that the information in your videos is coming from you as the authority. If you want to learn more about scripting with ChatGPT and with AI, make sure to hit that subscribe button because I have a video coming out soon that talks all about that. And again, if it's already out on my channel, you can find it in the YouTube cards above here for you. So once you're done filming, it's time for editing and for optimization. Our editors are actually trained in retention-based editing and what's currently working on YouTube right now. This means that they know how to add in the right attention resets, the right cuts, the right music, the right frames, all of the things to make sure your audience is staying as engaged with your content as possible. We also design custom thumbnails for each of your videos because thumbnails are one of the most important parts of your entire package of your video. Because if someone doesn't click on your video in the first place, then you're pooched, right? That click is so important, and that's where those custom thumbnails come into play. And the last part of this process is the keyword optimization of the titles, the description, the tag, all of the things. We make sure that there are keywords in there so that your videos are able to be found through search. Next, we come to phase 3, which is distribution. So for distribution, we actually use our video multiplier method to repurpose your long form videos into shorts, podcasts, blogs, reels, email content, Instagram stories, you name it. This will really depend on what other social media channels you're on, but there are so many ways that we can create a custom strategy to you that allows us to repurpose your YouTube videos so you get more content with less effort. But here is what most agencies won't tell you and why I broke down our process in such detail. If they're not asking you about your business model, your current level of scale, and your backend systems, then they're just not providing you the strategy that you need. Let's think about it this way. If you went to the doctor, okay, and you walked into the room and they just immediately prescribed you some medication without asking you any sort of question, would you think that they're a very good doctor? Probably not, right? But this is unfortunately what's happening with a lot of agencies. People are putting full trust into this agency, and the agency isn't really asking them any sort of questions specifically about their business. They might have some sort of onboarding form for them to fill out or something like that that asks them who their ideal client is and some generic questions like that, but they're really not understanding your current level of scale, your business ecosystem, the systems behind your business, your authority, all of the different things that make you unique. And so you end up with a cookie cutter strategy where they're just rinse and repeating the same strategy for you as the other person and as the person before you. I am so passionate about this because I have seen people be burned so many times because of this. And I built my agency and this process to fill that gap. Because let's be honest, you do not need another task taker. You need a co-strategist who can pull out your brilliance, who can pull out your authority and turn it into YouTube content that works for you while you're out serving clients, while you're out on vacation, while you're spending time with your kids, or while you're writing your next book, or you're on stage at your next speaking gig. If you're watching this and thinking, Melissa, this sounds amazing, but I don't know if I'm fully ready to step into something like this, that's exactly why I created my What Level of Scale Is Your Business In? This quiz will walk you through the 3 seasons of scale to help you determine which scale archetype you actually are and how you can use that to understand what level of support you really need. You can access it today by just clicking the link in the description below here. And after taking the quiz, if you think that YouTube management might be the right step for you, I would love to hear from you. I personally look at every single application that comes into my business because I am so passionate about helping you succeed on YouTube. So you can apply to work with myself and my agency in the description below here, and you'll hear back from us very shortly. Now, in the next video, I'm actually sharing the #1 mistake most people make when going to hire a YouTube agency and what questions you really need to ask before you actually hire them. So make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you don't miss out on that video next, and we'll see you there. Bye.